Yes.
Ms. Zielski,
Yes.
Mr. Tobin,
Yes.
Mr. Toppy.
Yes. Good luck.
Very much.
Thank you. Amanda.
Last time I was here, it was the old building for Bridgepoint.
Oh, man.
So we're gonna keep this application to October.
Was Byron not here?
Yes.
I'll nominate it.
Just a reminder to please keep your 148 West Chestnut, your material, because they will be heard in October.
No. Why did they postpone for that?
The attorney did not believe that they would be heard tonight, and they are on vacation for the September meeting, so they didn't wanna, so they just adjourned to October.
Well, some nights it surprises you.
Do we have to do?
Did we adjourn?
Oh, yeah.
We haven't-
Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn.
Thank
All in
you.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you,
Everyone's
everybody.
hungry, tired. And I actually,
Good night. So we'll call the meeting to order. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act pursuant to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Said notice was published in the Home News Tribune on January 2nd of this year, posted in Borough Hall, and sent to the Star Ledger for information. All requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act were satisfied. And before I do roll call, I must ask that we all stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Bob, would you do the honor to lead us off, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, Joanna, could we have roll call, please?
Yes, of course. Ms. Clarkson? Here. Ms. Cohn?
Oh, here. I was like,
Mr. Delia?
Here.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Ms. Gelber? Here. Mr. Grossman?
Here.
Ms. Koskowski?
Here.
Mr. Lifton?
Here.
Mr. Love?
Here.
Mr. Westrick? Mr. Coglin?
Here.
Ms. Zachariah? Here. Thank you.
All right, clear a healthy quorum present. Thank you all for coming out this evening. Our only business is our new business for an ordinance coming to us from the governing body about side yard setbacks, and I read it, and I think I understand the intent of it. I don't know, Chris or Bob, if either one of you want to just give a brief synopsis.
Morning, thank you for coming out for such a simple ordinance change. We're literally removing 2 words from an ordinance. As you may know, for over the past 20-ish years, there's been 2 provisions in the zoning ordinance that, the first one, properties involving a permitted single-family dwelling, if it's undersized, it used to be that if you're undersized, no matter what you're doing, you need a variance. A lot of towns still have that. Metuchen's ordinance has a provision saying that if you're undersized, it's okay, as long as you meet all the other requirements, you don't need a variance. Same thing for side yard setbacks. The provision in the ordinance, and this is what this ordinance amends, non-conforming side yards, or yard setbacks in general. If you have a non-conforming side yard, you may, 2 things. You may have an addition on the property that doesn't touch the non-conforming side yard. That's fine too. As long as everything else complies, you can just get a permit, you don't need a variance. The second portion of the, for the ordinance regarding non-conforming yard setbacks is that you can have an addition involving that non-conforming setback. So let's say you're required to have 8 feet, like it is in the R2 zone. As long as you have 50% of that, at least 50% of that, meaning 4 feet, you can go up a story or you can go out a story. That provision's been on the books for about 20-ish years, and I would argue, Jim Constantine and I would argue, hundreds of homeowners have been saved by, saved from going through the variance process. Obviously, a time-consuming and costly process for something that's already there, just going up 1 story at a time. And I say 1 story at a time, that's important because one of the exceptions to that exception is, 1, it can't be a 2-story addition. It can't involve a 3rd-story addition. It's a part of the light and air respect with the neighbors. Because you're already not conforming, you want to get too far into your neighbor's space. And the 3rd exception is corner lots. Frankly, I'm not sure why it's been there. It's my understanding that perhaps it was related to because side yard setbacks on corner lots may have been previously regulated on the other fronts treated as a side yard. But in this case, since we clarified in the ordinance a few years ago that for corner lots, it is 2 front yards with a side and a rear, the rear being opposite the shortest front. Frankly, and this came from a recommendation from the Zoning Board of Adjustment, which you received correspondence of just a few months ago recommending they change it, hence, and we're implementing that change, is remove the exception from corner lots so that people, homeowners who have corner lot properties can enjoy the non-conforming side yard exception, because if the addition is involving that non-conforming side yard setback, they are not touching the front yard setback of the other side on the corner lot. So in this case, I think you can make an argument pretty easily that this will not make a significant change to the borough's master plan or the intent and purpose of preserving its residential character, because even if we give an allowance for corner lots, they still have to comply with the front yard setback anyway on the other side. So this has been a recommendation we've been thinking about for a few years, and the zoning board brought it up as an issue, put it in their annual report, which you received, and now this ordinance come forward to finally implement removing the exception from the exception, so that corner lot, property owners on corner lots can now and also enjoy the non-conforming side yard exception as all other lots do.
So Chris, is the answer that they don't need a variance now, and before they did?
Correct.
Okay. But if they're, what if they're making the side yard smaller, or they are affecting, they're not on the same line, would they need a variance?
They would need a variance, just like mid-lot lots do. The exception only allows you to extend the existing setback. You can't make it worse.
I gotta say that I understand your explanation, although I had to read the ordinance several times, and I don't know if I came up with that conclusion. So I'm just suggesting that maybe the next time this section is modified, you change the whole sentence or language so that it's clear. Although I'm sure once a homeowner or anyone on the corner lot comes in for a permit or anything, it'll be explained to them. But again, I don't think it's clear on its face, and that's just my opinion.
No, don't disagree. I've struggled with that ordinance for several years. We tweaked it over the years. I think one of the recommendations that the master plan subcommittee could make is to consider recodifying much of the ordinance requirements, if not the whole zoning ordinance. There's many phrases and sentences and whole sections that are still hard to grasp. I benefit from being here for 15, 20 years, so I can just rattle off and tell a homeowner, you don't need a variance, you're good. Trust me. But your point's well taken.
I agree. I had the same struggle. I read it and read it and read it, and I was like going in circles in my head. Now, when you explained it, I understand it, but that's not necessarily the takeaway I had. I mean, I was waiting to come here to hear how you were going to explain it, because I couldn't get to it.
Well, Chris, I know this is an outgrowth many years ago, you being on the front lines, and now Thomas, you're hearing or you're receiving all these requests for relief, and the whole idea, behind what you're doing is to try to simplify to the extent that you can, that's reasonable, that can be done by the code enforcement officer, saving the homeowner this unnecessary duress, right? Because it's not really. We've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times, even if the language is, I don't know, sufficiently.
Yeah, and the Board of Adjustment always grants them, so you're making, because they're reasonable, the person is just adding a few feet off the back, or again, putting on a second story above where the first story is already, and, it's, I can't remember ever, I was gonna say the last time, but I can't remember ever when the Board of Adjustment turned one down, so if they're not turning any down, then there's really no point in making people spend the money and time and effort and everything to do it.
So impenetrable language aside, you're endorsing this change and recommending that the board adopt it. So, board members, other questions for our professional regarding this, lovely nighttime read that we got here?
Okay, if everybody's in agreement, there's a resolution for your consideration that I believe is in front of you to note that it's not in conflict with the master plan and recommend its adoption.
I'll move it.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And we have a second. Thank you. Okay, Joanne.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Mr. Grossman.
Thank you. Ms. Clarkson?
Yes.
Ms. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Delia?
Yes.
Ms. Gelver?
Yes.
Mr. Grossman?
Yes.
Ms. Koskowski?
Yes.
Mr. Lifton?
Yes.
Mr. Love?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the ordinance is sufficiently endorsed by the planning board. Okay, next we have the weighty issue of correspondence for the August 7th, 2025 meeting minutes. Can I have a motion to approve that, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you very much. Second?
Second.
Okay, for those who were in attendance on that evening or weren't, or those who would like to vote or not, can I please have aye in favor, please?
Aye.
Okay, is that more than one aye? I think I got several ayes. Any nays? None. Okay, correspondence is approved. What else do we have to talk about this evening? I know haven't seen each other in a month or so. Is there anything new and exciting going on we want to share with each other?
We have to open to the public.
Let's open the public portion. Good point. I'm going to open it up to the public now. If you have a question, comment, or statement, come forward. Looking out into the distance, I see none. So if no one has any objections, I'm going to close the public portion. And where were we again? Yes, anything to discuss?
I would like to just, for those who are not aware, our zoning officer, Mr. DiMartino, is no longer with us, and he has
Oh.
moved on to a private firm, and we wished him well today.
Well, congratulations to him, and absolutely, we wish him well, and I guess the search begins to find the next
Yes,
victim,
the
right?
search begins.
There we go, so that's something of note. Okay, you go ahead, you got something?
I did mention it. I did mention it. Again, we had some discussion, or not public discussion, but I'd make it public, about TRC review before an application comes to the board. And I think we've seen some applications that might merit or be improved if if there were some lay people from the board on TRC as opposed to strictly professional review. And I think when we did have a TRC with a population that represented not only the professionals advising the planning board, but members of the board, just a couple members of the board, wasn't half the board or anything like that. We saw, I think, a more complete submission and presentation for consideration at the hearing before the full board. So I'm suggesting perhaps a review of that
Okay.
issue.
Well, I know we switched gears a couple years ago, and in some respects, I think, I don't know, I think we call it the DRC now, is that what we call it, Chris?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So the DRC kind of has the more thorough and exhaustive review than TRC ever got a chance to do. I think there's been many benefits of that, but I also understand your position, and Vice Chairman, which is that you'd like to get somebody from the board on this. So maybe that's something for all the board members to consider, whether they think that there's anything there for the board to act on, or maybe a liaison, who knows? There might be any number of ways. I always remember the hardest thing is getting people to volunteer to participate in TRC because no one wanted to give their time up. I see
Yes, I just want to, of course, this isn't a formal discussion, but informally second Ms. Clarkson's thoughts as the person who was on TRC with her last, when the TRC was, in essence, disbanded and reformed as the DRC. I think the board process has suffered from not having a TRC or something similarly constituted. I may have missed a few meetings, but we haven't seen many actual applications recently. There's been a lot of recommendations of ordinances and things like that. But going back a number of months, when we saw a number of applications that were less than satisfactory, I might say, and had to go back and forth, and revisions and tables and lots of them over the last, I'd say, year to year and a half, maybe not in the last few months, but certainly over that time period. I remember having discussions with some board members and thinking to myself, these things would never have shown up here if Ms. Clarkson was still running those DRC meetings. They just wouldn't have been here. And I'm not blaming the professionals. They are looking for different things, technical matters that we as lay people, as Ms. Clarkson said, wouldn't know anything about. So they're doing what they do. But as far as making an application ready to be presented to us, we're the ones in the end who have to approve the applications. And I believe there were two members of this body that were on TRC. As I said, Ms. Clarkson and myself were the last two. She was on a long time, I was on a short time. Maybe that's why it got discontinued. I showed up, they said, we can't have this guy. But,
Oh, no.
oh, no. But I think it's something very much worthy of consideration, and I think the board process was improved then and is less efficient now for lacking the TRC or some similar structure. So that's my two.
Well, there you go, board. You have a homework assignment to think about between now and your next meeting. Two members have suggested they'd like to resuscitate the TRC. I'm not looking to do anything that's going to conflict with what the governing body's trying to do, but maybe it's something for us all to think about. Is, do we want to resuscitate TRC? Do we want to have a liaison or liaisons participate in some capacity with the existing DRC who are doing their jobs? I don't have the answer, but I think it's something worth thinking about and seeing if you have a feeling about it or thoughts and suggestions. But since it wasn't on our agenda, I don't want to put you on the spot tonight. Think about it for our next meeting, and we can have more discussions in greater detail about how everyone feels about that.
Would you like me to add it to next?
I think it would be good
Next
to put it
agenda.
as a bullet item, right? So that since it wasn't on this evening and no one really had
I
a
think
chance to
it will
think about it.
depend on what's on the agenda. I mean, I don't want
The
to
next,
extend our
I,
time here.
the
or-
next meeting is the 18th, and I do have an application on there for the 18th, which you should be getting.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, just-
That's substantial. And, I mean, again, this doesn't have to be immediately addressed.
Yeah, I think we're just talking about discussion. We're not even talking about making a decision at
Yeah,
that time.
okay.
You brought it up, so we want to give people an idea to think about how they may or may not feel about it. So I don't think that's unreasonable. Okay, we got our minutes, we got our public portion, we have some news. Thank you all for sounding off on how you feel. And now we're brought to the exciting time where I ask you for a motion to adjourn. Come on, people. Donald, at once.
I move it to adjourn.
Very good. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.